Well, good morning, Southeast Texas. Welcome into ARC. It is right at 10 o'clock this morning, this Wednesday morning. So midweek edition going on here, and happy to have you here. Also the 6th day of November. In case you missed it, yesterday was election day. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah, a bit of a whirlwind there, everyone. That's why I brought some coffee and donuts in, because I was like, we're going to have some really cranky people here today, because we had lots of people that worked really crazy shifts and worked very long hours, and then woke back up this morning just to do it all over again, to kind of give a recap today on what happened yesterday. Yesterday was crazy. So
yeah, certainly was.
Elections always are.
Yeah, elections are certainly always busy. So, but the good news is we've got plenty of results for you today, and including presidential results, which is quite the turn of events from 4 years ago when we were waiting days and days to know who's going to be our next president, which we do know this morning that it is going to be former President Donald Trump, now back in office for another term, which Angel gave us a fun little fact earlier this morning. He's only the second president to go for a second term, not consecutively. The other one was, who was it? Grover Cleveland, is that right?
Grover Cleveland.
Back in the 1800s, late 1800s. So
I was wondering why I didn't recognize that name. I was like, I don't remember that being on that presidential list that we had to learn about in high school. So
it was way back there. That's why you don't remember it too much, right? Yeah. So of course, that's the big election that was following nationally, but we got so many more local elections here in Southeast Texas, also just statewide elections that we have been following. And we'll get you updates on throughout the morning. So, and then we'll also be talking about Beaumont Restaurant Week. So we got a little,
good stuff there.
Yeah, some fun in there as well. So I want to jump into some of those headlines. As we just mentioned, former President Donald Trump has won the presidential election. We're going to take a look at how many votes the former president received, especially when it comes to that electoral college vote.
Plus, Sheriff Zena Stevens and the Jefferson County Democratic Party held an election watch event that drew a large crowd.
Yeah, and Kate Carroll and her supporters packed a popular venue for her election watch party last night. We'll actually be talking with her a little bit later on this morning about the election results. So want to jump right into, of course, the race for the White House. Beginning our coverage this morning, former President Donald Trump has secured a historic second term in the White House. A crucial win in the battleground state of Wisconsin early this morning put him over the top of the 270 electoral votes he needed. Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to deliver remarks from Howard University later today.
Ivan Rodriguez is in West Palm Beach, Florida, where President-elect Trump watched results come in at his Mar-a-Lago home.
Please welcome President-elect Donald J. Trump.
Former President Donald Trump, now projected president-elect, is the second person in U.S. history with 2 non-consecutive terms as commander-in-chief. It was a win he started celebrating early with supporters.
America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate.
And he'll have a Republican Senate with him after the GOP secured enough seats to take control of that chamber. Vice President Kamala Harris watched the results come in with family, friends, and hundreds of supporters at her alma mater, Howard University.
So you won't hear from the vice president tonight?
Her campaign co-chair telling the crowd late Tuesday the vice president is expected to speak publicly later today. A source close to the campaign told CNN just hours ago Harris's team is processing its strengths and weaknesses. President-elect Donald Trump giving his preview of a second term.
I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people.
In West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Really interesting race there. I know lots of people that I know stayed up to watch those results come in really early this morning. I woke up at about, I think it was 1:45-ish. I was not staying up. I was like, it's going to be what it's going to be. But I went to sleep, woke up this morning about 1:45 to see that they had really called it at that point.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, too, because I obviously go to bed very early because I have to wake up very early for the morning show, right? So, I mean, that was about the time I woke up as everything kind of started rolling in, which was, again, a shock compared to 4 years ago. I remember just waiting and waiting. So, I think a bit of relief this morning for a lot of folks who were nervous about having to wait so long to figure out what the results were.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Someone had said that it could take up to 10 days. And I was like, well, 10 days, like that's crazy. But I mean, even like one day, especially if you're really anticipating the presidential race, like a lot of people were, even one day, can you chewing all your nails off.
Yeah, definitely. So good to know the results this morning. And of course, whenever we do hear from Vice President Kamala Harris a little bit later on, we'll let you know about it. So, but of course, want to focus now on some Southeast Texas results. In Jefferson County's top race for Sheriff, Zena Stevens was elected back in 2016, making history as the state's first Black woman to hold the position.
Sheriff Stevens, a Democrat, was seeking a third term. She faced a challenge from Republican Stephen Broussard, a former sheriff's office employee.
Here's a look at the numbers from the Jefferson County's clerk's office, 100% reporting. So these are the final results this morning. Sheriff Zena Stevens coming out on top with 55% of the vote as opposed to Stephen Broussard's 45%, which means Sheriff Stevens will remain sheriff in Jefferson County. Well, beloved Jefferson County Tax Assessor Collector Allison Nathan Getz passed away last year after a courageous battle with cancer.
Republican Kate Carroll and Democrat Sean Webb Locke were running for this position.
Yeah, taking a look at the results this morning, whenever it comes to who came out on top, you see Sean Webb Locke with 45% of the vote, but it's going to be Kate Carroll, who will be the new county tax assessor collector for Jefferson County, winning 55% of the vote. And we'll actually be talking with Kate Carroll about her new position and what day one entails coming up a little bit later on this morning.
And in Groves, the incumbent mayor was facing a challenge. Chris Bourne is the current office holder. He was elected in 2020. Bourne is facing a challenge from Michael Boudreaux. The numbers are in for that election. Here are the results. Chris Bourne, 64%, taking the lead over Michael Boudreaux, who had 36% or a little over 1,700 votes.
And also voters in Groves making three other big decisions. City Council race for Ward 2 featured incumbent Paul Oliver plus two opponents, Tanner Thompson, a police officer, and Brandon Holmes, a marine inspector. Looking at the numbers this morning, Paul Oliver did come out on top with 47% of the vote. You see Brandon Holmes with 29%, while Tanner Thompson has 24%. Now, because no candidate got that 51% threshold, there is going to be a runoff for this election between the top two, which is going to be Paul Oliver and Brandon Holmes. That runoff is going to be expected sometime in December. We don't know the exact date just yet, but of course we will keep you updated.
One other council race in Groves, in Ward 4, incumbent Rhonda Dugas, who was removed from her seat on the EDC by Groves Council, was running for re-election to her Ward 4 position. Dugas has served 2 terms. So challenger Ray Shawna-Gay is a business owner, and the second challenger, Kyle Hollier, is a photographer. Dugas defeated Hollier in 2020 and again in 2022. So Ray Shawna-Gay taking that seat now with over 1,900 votes at 41%.
And that's another one that will be also a runoff since that 51% threshold was not reached. So the top two, again, are going to go to that runoff. Ray Shawna-Gay plus Kyle Hollier will go into the runoff for council member for Groves Ward 4 there. And then the final election in Groves for City Marshal, which in most communities is the police chief's position. Longtime beloved Marshal Norman Reynolds retired at the beginning of the year. Chris Robin has been the interim City Marshal since. Now, he did face a challenger in this election. Rudy Guerrero, a parole supervisor with Groves PD, was running for the position. But Christopher Robin, who again was the interim City Marshal, will now be the permanent City Marshal for the City of Groves. He won with 52% of the vote there. Naomi Showers Doyle was elected Justice of the Peace back in 2020. She became the first Black woman elected judge in Jefferson County.
She had a challenger, George Millhouse, a bailiff at the courthouse. Millhouse has no party affiliation on the ballot. These results, we have the numbers from the Jefferson County Clerk's Office. Naomi Showers Doyle dominating with 72% of the vote. George Millhouse trailing with 28%.
Now, the Vidor School District was asking voters to approve a $98 million bond issue to improve schools. The district says it's critical to keep pace with growth in the district. Taking a look at those numbers, voters agreeing with Vidor ISD, having an issue with the numbers, but that vote was a yes for that proposition, which is a $98.2 million bond that they approved there for Vidor ISD. And we're talking about the rundown this morning because that's going to be one of the stories our reporters are focusing on.
Fox 4 reporter Sydney Ferguson is live from our newsroom. She's going to be talking about, what's to come with this bond and, what people are thinking about it. Sydney, tell us what we can expect.
It's exactly like you said, guys. Vidor voters in Vidor approved this $98 million bond issue. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the largest bond issues ever passed in this school district. I'm supposed to meet with the superintendent of the district today to talk about some of what this money will go toward. I'm going to show you a picture of Vidor Junior High right now. And that's actually one of the buildings that the district plans to tear down. This money is supposed to give the district what they need to construct newer buildings, but the superintendent tells us it's more than that. He says the schools need to be brought up to modern day security standards. This allows them to improve equipment and technology, add more classrooms, a new science and cosmetology lab, just things that will help the students grow and learn. I think the consensus right now is just that Vidor ISD is slightly stuck in the past. And this is exactly what they need to bring them to the future. So I'm going to be talking to the superintendent today about where specifically this money will go and what they plan to do now that this is approved. And I'll have more at 5, 5:30, and 6.
All right, thank you, Sydney. This is a huge talker in this community where I'm from. I've got several. I actually went to Vidor schools, and my sister did, and our family and stuff, and we know people. And it's been. I've seen all over Facebook, even in the days leading up to the election, and then today, people split on this decision because it is such a large bond.
Yeah.
But just from what I know about the Vidor Junior High, it is very old, and they are expecting to do some good things with that. Money. That's always an issue for schools. So, but again, lots on the fence on, for or against it. But of course, we'll have more information coming up later for that story.
Absolutely. And kind of sticking with the school district theme, an important vote in Beaumont School District, a tax rate election. Proposition A was going to take money used to pay old school debts and allow the district to give teachers an additional 3% pay raise on top of the 2% VISD already approved. Now, the overall tax rate would go down 2 cents no matter how the election turned out. But the numbers here, you can see. Voters saying yes. 56% actually is saying yes. So that proposition will go through for Beaumont ISD.
Well, the race for U.S. Senate puts incumbent Republican Ted Cruz against Democrat Colin Allred.
Also had Libertarian Ted Brown on the ballot as well. Looking at the numbers this morning, about 97% of the votes reported, so not a full 100, but you can see clear winner there. Ted Cruz with 53% of the vote, so incumbent Ted Cruz will remain in the U.S. Senate.
Republican Congressman Randy Weber has served 11 years in the U.S. House representing Southeast Texas.
Now, the District 14 congressman is facing a challenge from Rhonda Hart, who's a Democrat. Her daughter was killed in the 2018 school shooting at Santa Fe High School in Texas, and gun violence was a big focus of her campaign. Looking at the numbers, though, in the District 14 race for Congress, Randy Weber coming out on top, 69% of the vote.
Republican Congressman Brian Babin has represented Southeast Texans since 2015.
He serves in District 36. Babin's opponent was Democrat Dania Steele, a former radio DJ in the area.
She's run against Babin in the past. Let's take a look at those numbers. This race has been called Dr. Brian Babin, DDS, back as the U.S. representative for another term, an overwhelming victory in a solid red congressional district. I believe that we will be talking to him later today.
There you go. Well, the Texas House seat in District 18 was also up for election.
Republican Janice Holt defeated incumbent Ernest Bales in the March GOP primary.
She faced a challenge from Seth Steele, who's a Libertarian. Looking at the results this morning, though, not a whole lot of competition there. Janice Holt coming out on top, 87% of the vote compared to Seth Steele's 13%.
And there you got it.
Well, let's look at some of your election results. Of course, if we missed something that you were looking for, you can always go to fox4beaumont.com. We have a list of all election results, and you can check them all out there. We'll still come this morning on Jasper County deputies in trouble with the law. What caused him to take a trip to jail next?
It started out as a late-night traffic stop. It turned into a trip to jail. An invalid license landing a Jasper County deputy in deep trouble with the law.
According to our media partner, KJS Radio, DPS issued an arrest warrant for 28-year-old William Treadway. He surrendered yesterday at the Jasper County Jail, booked on a charge of driving with an invalid license. A judge did release him on a personal recognizance bond. It all started late Saturday night when a DPS trooper stopped Treadway for a traffic violation. Treadway was found with a suspended driver's license and multiple prior convictions for an invalid license.
Drying up the sex trafficking pipeline, an elusive goal in this $150 billion a year business. Texas is one of the leading states for sex trafficking.
In this special report, Fox 4's Aaron Mack investigates how law enforcement is working to help the victims and catch the suspects.
Interstate 10 stretching from California to Florida with Texas smack in the middle, what law enforcement officers call a sex trafficking corridor.
They've been recovered after being on drugs. They're mentally and physically exhausted. They don't know if they're coming or going. They're just, so lost. Some of them have a lot of anger.
Beaumont Police Department Detective Stacy Landor has served with the Special Crimes Unit for 16 years, many of her cases involving child sex trafficking.
We have to get out there and be proactive. And you go out and you're looking, of course, the traffic violation, because you do have to stop them legally. But it's one of those, you look at that and then you question. That's the whole thing.
The investigations along the sex trafficking corridor take time.
Gathering all the evidence that we feel we need to support it, whether it's phone records, hotel records, having the child interviewed, having sexual assault examinations, trying to speak with the suspect, and then presenting the case to the district attorney's office.
The victims also need time and attention to heal.
The mission was very simple. We want to end child sex trafficking in Southeast Texas. So we focused mainly on serving kids.
Brittany De La Garza and Hannah Padilla are with Embracing Freedom, formerly the Harvest House.
Our kids sometimes don't even see that they are being trafficked. And so it can take several attempts for them to be, removed from that. And so our advocates work with them to mirror healthy relationships. So that way they know that they can always do something different and that they deserve better.
In this age of social media, it's easy for traffickers to gain access to kids and manipulate them. Embracing Freedom helps victims regain control of their lives.
Within the past year, we've had kiddos get their first apartment, kiddos get their first job, get accepted into Lamar, which is really amazing. And we couldn't help them get to that point if it wasn't the help of the community.
A community in the heart of the sex trafficking corridor coming together to get victims on the road to recovery. In Beaumont reporting, Aaron Mack.
Human trafficking is a felony crime. Anyone convicted can face decades in prison and a fine of up to $10,000.
3 Southeast Texas counties have lifted their burn bans today, with the recent rains reducing but not eliminating the fire danger. Orange County Judge John Gauthier announced he is lifting the order and still encourages citizens to exercise extreme caution with any outdoor burning activity. Hardin and Tyler counties have also lifted their bans within the past few days. Jefferson County and Newton County, they are also allowing citizens to burn again this week.
Some good news there. Well, first responders in Jefferson County now have an extra line of defense when it comes to fighting fires. Yesterday morning at Beaumont Tractor on College Street, ExxonMobil Pipeline donated some much needed equipment to Jefferson County ESD number 3 and 4. They received a brand new brush buggy that can be used to fight off road fires the regular equipment can't get to. They also received a brush truck to help the firefighters reach some rural areas. So some much needed equipment there. Also great news that we've been able to get enough rain to lift that burn ban. But again, it is important just to remain safe, be extra cautious because we have got a lot of rain, but there's still certainly some concerns.
The exception of Jasper County. Because my mom was asking me today, I was like, I knew some were lifted, but I was like, there's one, I just can't remember which one it is, but apparently Jasper County has not lifted theirs yet. So I know she's itching to burn some stuff. So hopefully get some rain.
There you go. Now you know. Well, still to come this morning, we're going to talk with Kate Carroll, new Jefferson County Tax Assessor Collector. 10:23 this morning. Of course, we've been talking all about the election. Election day was yesterday, and now sigh of relief for a lot of folks, a lot of the candidates who were running, including Kate Carroll, who we have here this morning, who is now the Jefferson County Tax Assessor Collector elect. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Happy to have you. I know. So we were just talking about, did you get any sleep yesterday? Because I went to the polls and I was voting around 3 o'clock yesterday. Saw you there, and then also you're up late last night. So
right.
We appreciate you coming.
Of course.
Kind of the process of course, election and campaigning, right?
It is.
Crazy.
It is. It's like I said, this has been the longest job interview I've ever had in my life. So 14 months, and then it culminates in being at the polls for 11, 12 hours a day, and then wrap up. So it's been a wild ride. But I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, for the folks, obviously, we've been talking a lot about big national news because it was a presidential election year.
Right.
So that's a big focus on everything. For folks at home who, may not know, why was this race also important? Why is the Tax Assessor Collector important to folks like us?
Well, you need somebody physically conservative and responsible in the job, someone who's truly going to take the job to heart, work at it 100% of the time, and really be there to support the 60 plus employees that are there. And so you're doing a threefold job. You're collecting, doing the license plates, the tax collecting, not assessing, but then also the voter registration. So that's been such a big thing lately with the purging of the rolls and everything. And it really will take somebody who gets in there and knows exactly what the law is, what they're allowed to do, and make sure the voter rolls are up and ready for the county clerk to do their job.
Absolutely. And I mean, we kind of talk about what's expected as we kind of make our way past the campaigning and everything.
Right.
I mean, day one, now that you know what's going to be first on the agenda.
Oh, get my feet wet.
Yeah.
Get my feet wet. I'm not going to go in there and make any huge changes. Allison left such a great footprint. So my goal is to go in, try to fill her shoes, which will be impossible, but at least do her honor. She gave me her endorsement before she passed. And so I want to go in and just really get to know everybody that works there, watch how they work, and get an assessment. I've had some great ideas of things that we can do to further along the tax office. But my first goal is just to really get in there and get to know everybody and let them know I've got their back and just start fresh. And so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of mentioned Allison Nathan Getz, who did pass away from cancer, was in the position before and kind of gave you that backing. I mean, how do you attempt to fill those shoes whenever it comes to a situation like that?
It's difficult. Yeah. It's difficult, but you trust that they did such a great job, that they've laid that foundation, and that you're just taking up the torch and running with it. And I know she did. And I know that Terry Winchell, who's in there intermediately, is also really carrying on the role. She's got great experience. So I'm looking forward to working with Terry in the next few weeks, just getting a good feel for everything going on and moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, for folks who might not know, I mean, when does it start? Obviously, the election's over.
Right.
When do you get in there?
January 2nd. So there'll be a swearing in. Now, that could change, but right now I'm expecting not to take office until January because Terry will be there through the end of the year.
Okay. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for stopping by.
Of course.
Hopefully you can get a nap in today. And
Hopefully we both can.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully some sleep tonight too.
So I appreciate it. So
Well,
thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Still to come this morning, we'll have some more ARC Southeast Texas for you, so stay tuned.
Hi, this is Greg Bostwick. Glad you're joining us. Of course, we're talking about plants. Last week we had the Belgian mums, one of the good plants for the fall. This is one a little bit out of the ordinary, perhaps, because it is a tropical. It's bougainvillea. Now, you might say, well, really can't grow bougainvillea in the wintertime. Oh, yes, you can. Keep them in a pot like this. It's a 10-inch terracotta pot. It's a plastic type pot, and it does have drain holes, of course, at the bottom. And you can take this out on the patio, make sure it gets lots of sun when it's warm outside in the wintertime, and it'll bloom its little heart out. If you have cold weather coming, well, you just put it in the garage, put it maybe in the laundry room. Cold weather's over, take it back outside. Just don't let it freeze because it would be damaged by a freeze. Now, I love these things because there's so many vibrant colors involved. This is called Imperial Thai. It's kind of a white, and you've got a little blush of kind of a purple on the edge. Very beautiful plant. A lot of people think these are actually blooms. They're technically not blooms. They're colored leaves. They're called bracts. And that's not really actually a bloom. So these things will last a long time. These leaves will fall off eventually, but they have that color in them. So they have this one, Imperial Thai. This is called Barberkarst, and it's a very bright purple shade there. I like that one a whole lot. Now, the one danger you have to watch with these things, they'll give you a blood transfusion if you're not careful. Have to watch real carefully right there. See right there? And over here, that is a thorn. Right there. And that guy, he'll grab you if you're not careful, and you'll say, well, where'd that blood come from? Well, you got stuck by the thorns on these things. So they are a little bit thorny. You can prune them as your heart delights. For example, on this one, pretty soon I would come in here and cut it right there, maybe cut it right there, make it bushier that way. So really a good plant. And of course, in the summertime, they do great here, but you can, like I said, grow them in the wintertime too. As far as insect problems, again, very little to insect problems. White flies, again, seem like white flies are a big problem here, and they usually are. Again, the BioAdvance Complete Insect Killer is great. And you know what I'm going to say, Microlife, yep, Microlife 624. Got to love that product, one of the better ones you can use. We'll take another good look at a plant for the fall next week.
Welcome back to ARC Southeast Texas. We are in the break room for some with some delicious food. It's Beaumont Restaurant Week, and we are joined this morning with a crew from Mama Tia's, which recently opened. Correct?
Yes.
Tell us what this restaurant has to offer.
Well, we offer a mix of Italian and Mexican cuisine blended together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me how that works. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Well, we take some authentic recipes from Italian cuisine and some authentic recipes from the Mexican cuisine and blend those together, just like this pizza right here. This is an elote pizza, which is traditional Mexican corn.
Right.
And it's on top of a pizza.
Cool. Okay, we love pizza around here. So talk to us about what you can expect when you eat this one.
Oh, you can expect some to take you back.
Yeah, lots of flavor,
back
Yeah.
into this like flavor zone. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like that.
fried
I like that.
jalapenos, right?
Yes, ma'am. Fried jalapenos on top. And this one is, we make everything fresh in house. All of our toppings are made in house, and the pizza dough is made in house as well. This is a chicken jalapeno sausage that we make in house.
Okay.
Top pizza topping.
It's certainly a wide variety of stuff on the menu too. We went for a birthday party recently. It's first time there. Obviously, you guys recently opened, so a lot of folks are just trying it for the very first time. And there's so much to choose from. I mean, how do you narrow down your menu whenever it comes to these combination foods and just the variety that you can offer? How do you pick your favorites?
I think there's some core dishes that are true to Mama Tia's that are on the menu, and there's some dishes that you may see in Tia Juanita's on our menu as well.
Yeah.
It's
So good.
combination.
Yeah, I was gonna say lots going on. I mean, you guys have been open pretty recently. How long has it been?
We opened on August 19th.
Okay, so just a couple months. How's it been going so far?
It's been going well. It's been exciting to see us get up and running.
Yeah.
We were really busy at the beginning, you know, because we are a branch of Tia Juanita's, so we got a lot of our Tia Juanita's customers. Now we're more steady state, and we're building our customer base.
Sure.
So it's been exciting to see that grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it is Beaumont Restaurant Week, which is why we have Mama Tia's here. They are partaking in Beaumont Restaurant Week. So what are some of the deals that folks can expect?
The deal is 10% off of your meal, and that 10% goes to Beaumont Restaurant Weeks.
Oh, and I guess we didn't even talk about the
Yeah.
pasta dish.
That's
Sorry,
it.
we just ignored it.
Cajun pasta made with cream sauce, some spices, andouille, shrimp, scallops, not fettuccine, spaghetti, and grilled chicken on top.
And my favorite part, bread.
Yeah.
The bread.
Bread gal.
Yeah.
Gotta
You
have the
gotta
garlic bread too.
Yeah.
You gotta
Okay,
have
so
the bread.
we're so funny. We've been frequenting Tia Juanita's every week for the last several weeks because I discovered the fajitas. They are so good. We have not made our way to Mama Tia's yet, but it's on my list. So if someone, a first timer especially, comes, what would y'all recommend? What's your favorite?
It depends on if you're in the mood for pizza or pasta. So I always tell everybody, the pizzas, if you want to try something that's different, we do a tamale crust pizza. So we use a masa harina. So it's a mixture of flour and masa, and we put yeast in it and let it rise like a pizza dough. So it's like a tamale crust. So like that elote pizza there, it's a tamale crust. So that's kind of like the Mex-Italian blend there.
Yeah.
And then if you're in the mood for pasta, that Cajun pasta is like our signature pasta.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
My go-to is classic chicken fettuccine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to go wrong.
Yeah, how to go wrong with that?
That's a good one. Well, there you
With
go.
appetizer, I like the nachos.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, Italian nachos.
Italian nachos. What is that? What does that entail?
It has sausage on it, jalapenos, black olives, cheese, Alfredo sauce.
Cool.
And pepperoncinis. So you get a lot of the Mexican flavors and the Italian flavors.
Yeah.
Good blend of stuff. I think I had the Euro pizza whenever I went, and it was good. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that too. Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to make our way out there.
Yeah. Lots of options, of course. And if you want to venture out for Beaumont Restaurant Week and haven't tried Mama Tia's, good place to go in Beaumont. So right next to Tia Juanita's in Beaumont. So be sure to give them a try. Thank you both for stopping by. We appreciate
Thank you for having
it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We'll have some more ARC Southeast Texas coming up in just a bit.
This segment is sponsored by Do Good Credit Union.
Giving back to our Southeast Texas community is at the heart of KFDM and Do Good Credit Union. From now until December 20th, we will introduce you to 12 local charities chosen this year because they embrace our core belief of people helping people. Today, we're visiting Circle of Hope in Nederland.
Circle of Hope is a unique organization. First of all, it's all volunteers. There's no one in this organization gets paid. And what we do is we take applications for folks that have terminal illnesses or maybe a funeral that they don't have insurance or enough insurance to pay for. And we take those applications and then they get selected and we do benefits for them. But we also help people with small amounts. If they go to MD Anderson for cancer treatment and they maybe need some gas, we'll get them a little gas card to help them out. And it's just a big community-based program that all our supporters and partners like yourself, Do Good and Six, that come out and help us out, right? And do wonderful things for us to make it grow. And it's been 15 years. It's been 14 and a half really, but right now we've got a core base of about 30 core volunteers along with 7 board members. And like I said, no one gets paid. They do it out of the love of their heart. And because they believe in the same thing, pay it forward because it could be them tomorrow. We have a lot of partners in the community with us, you know, a lot of big partners that come in and make donations, whether monthly or annually. But our biggest funds come in from our fundraising. What we do is we have annual Beaumont Party Gras every Mardi Gras season, right? January or February. Coming up February 15th this year, matter of fact, Valentine's Day, right? So what a better place than to bring your Valentines, right, to Beaumont Party Gras. Oh, Do Good's been wonderful, and you guys as well. I think this is our 3rd year, I believe, if I remember right, doing this program with Do Good and y'all, and it's been a blessing because it's a way for the community when they just do their everyday business, whether, you know, getting a loan at Do Good or whatever it is they might do, then they get to select a nonprofit from the list, right, and be able to help out their way. And that's what's a blessing. A lot of people think you have to help out with big money, and you don't. Every dollar counts.
If you would like to donate to Circle of Hope here in Nederland, you can learn more at dogoodbygiving.org.
Your kindness and generosity make Southeast Texas a better place to live. Do good by giving. It feels good to give back.
Before we get to our new segment, I need to point out this pizza is actually pretty good. So we have Mama Tia's on for Beaumont Restaurant Week, and I've been taking a couple bites out of it. But it's an elote pizza.
Yeah, it's like a...
And corn. It's got a, what did they say? The crust is
the tamale crust, so it's like a masa. Like a
it's
masa
pretty good.
crust.
Spicy. It's got a fried jalapeno on it. It's really good. Picky eater approved.
Y'all, and she's like actually a picky eater, so I'm genuinely surprised that you liked it. So that's how you know it's
That's
good.
the true test here, is if they can pass it by me, it'll pass by anybody.
Yeah, there we go. All right, well, let's try it. Go try them out. Yeah. It's a cool, if you've been to Tijuanitas, it's a very like similar experience, the atmosphere and everything. So it's definitely a unique place. So Mama Tia's in Beaumont. Check it out.
And they are just one of over 60 businesses that are a part, over 60 locally owned. And I think they have like Jason's Deli, Raising Cane's, a couple of other ones, hit or miss there, that are doing this in this, what do you want to call it, like an incentive? The idea is that they obviously, the idea is to get people out to experience what foods Beaumont has to offer. But they have something new this year where they're doing a passport type situation. So when you buy from these places, you win points, and then you can win merchandise. So there's a little incentive there to get out, boost the economy, shop, eat locally, and then you get some free gear. So we have that information on our website.
Neat.
It's a really cool thing. But coming back to what there is to do and eat in Beaumont. You've heard it before, someone saying there's nothing to do in Southeast Texas.
Well, here on ARC, we're trying to change that. Did you know you can take pottery classes in Beaumont? Well, the ARC team actually took a trip to J. Alexander Pottery to give it a try.
But you just kind of keep on going, and then eventually you're like, oh yeah. Slowly come up like that, carefully. The fingers will start to leave a trail almost. See how you just kind of are gentle with it, Real light pressure. Yeah, and if you're, gentle with it, people, that's what I tell students all the time. Initially you just want to kind of take it slow. Kind of have to just take your time and go slow. See how you can kind of carefully cut that unevenness off. Okay, and then take that and put it right there, and then spin it.
Okay, you tell me what it's been like so far since you've been doing this. Obviously, it's your first time.
Oh my goodness, it's been great. He's a great teacher, very patient and encouraging. And you know what? I say this a lot. When the cake decorating, it was relaxing, and this was very relaxing too. So
it's very therapeutic. I have one lady who's coming in later today, and she always can't wait for the next class. She's like, John, when's the next class? Can I come in early? And oh, look, you're doing perfect, doing good. Keep on keeping on.
You guys can buy it for $5,000.
It's a beauty.
It's not actually for sale, and no one would pay $5,000. It's okay.
Well,
it was fun though.
It was, but John offers pottery classes. So he's located near downtown Beaumont on Magnolia Avenue, and you can find more information about him on his Facebook page. So John was really great.
Yeah.
I feel like we've really learned something.
Well, it's a lot of fun, and just trying new things. That's one of the good things too, is that we're talking about finding things to do in Southeast Texas and exploring Southeast Texas in general. We're getting to try these things for the first time too, which is always a lot of fun, and just kind of finding new hobbies too. Like we said, that was actually really relaxing, but you also get to do like a little bit of creativity, and just get into it, and you're kind of in the moment, focused on everything, and it's a lot of fun. And like Angel mentioned, John was actually very informative and did give some good information, and had a lot of insight to kind of help us figure it all out for us first timers.
And it's very therapeutic. You just sit there and you spin the wheel and you just do your little thing. It's the what is it? The area that we worked in, I'm blanking on the words. It was quiet and peaceful.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was, he said, people go for that. They'll do like team bonding there. So it was really cool.
It was cool. And also, if you don't want to do the pottery class, you always can check out his art gallery. He's got plenty of pottery there, not just from himself, but other artists across Southeast Texas that have made some really unique pieces that are up for sale. So, and like I said, just a very interesting part of downtown Beaumont too. Lots of history, lots of rich culture there that you can go check out. So if you got time, there you go. Still to come this morning, we got our question of the day.
This election may be messing with a good night's sleep. Medical reporter Liz Bonus explains how.
Hey there, everybody. So many of us not sleeping this election season that there's a name for this. Some refer to it as electsomnia. It's often described as chronic sleep disturbances that can occur during election season. It can come from when we ponder who deserves our vote.
As your president, I will fight for you every single day.
To what will be the final election outcome.
I pledge to always put country above party and self.
Specialists at the Cleveland Clinic that provided this video describe electsomnia as people with current sleep problems who say it's worse right now, or.
But, we're also seeing people who typically don't really report having any insomnia symptoms or difficulty, this triggering insomnia symptoms in the past, couple of weeks or the time preceding the election.
Social media likely adding to our electsomnia, according to Dr. Mark Caleb Smith of Ohio Cedarville University, especially if we scroll negative election information before bedtime.
A lot of the information they're getting connected to on a regular basis is negative and damaging, and it just keeps them upset, which is good for business for Silicon Valley, but not necessarily good for America.
Getting to the polls today should stop some of this electsomnia, but no matter how you feel about your candidate.
I think the first step in the process is to understand that it's just politics.
And then, Dr. Smith says, remember this.
Politics doesn't define our whole lives. It doesn't make or break everything about us. Our country has survived complicated and difficult elections in the past. It'll survive this election, regardless of what happens.
Now, if sleep problems do persist and don't ease up after the election's over, it is suggested you tell your doctor. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
Makes me tired just watching that. Let's get to our question of the day today. We asked you on our Facebook page, do you feel like your voice matters in this election? Plenty of folks chimed in.
No, not at all, but I voted anyways. Well, that's a good way to, view it if you... Macy over here is...
Y'all, I don't have alexsomnia, but just like talking about sleep makes me tired. Anyway, lots of folks saying doubtful, but I did my job as an American. Not really, but I voted anyway. Not at all, but I voted anyways. Not really, but I still have to vote.
I hope so. It's always good to be hopeful.
Yeah, that's true. I'm going to say that's all you can do, right, is do your part and actually go to the polls and cast your vote and hope that, if you're hoping to make a change or wanting to make a change, that you can do it. You can't do it if you don't try. And that way, I think it's also a sense of relief, right, to where even if it doesn't go your way, if it does or doesn't go your way, you did what you could.
Yep. Or you can always look at it as, people say you can't complain and if you didn't vote. So
it's true.
You can look at it as your opportunity to start complaining.
People still do, but it's okay. So yeah, hopefully y'all went to the polls yesterday and cast your ballot. So, and again, if you want those election results, not just nationally, but locally, because there were so many local races that we did try to cover this morning and just throughout the day and last night as well. You can always go to fox4beaumont.com to find a list of all of that. And we always encourage you to go to our KFDM Facebook page, but also our ARC Southeast Texas Facebook page.
Yes, we've got dozens of new followers just this week alone. So all of our content's there. We'd love to hear from you. Love to see you. There it is. You can follow us. We post exclusive content to this page. What we do here on ARC, we get to meet so many great people, focus on different stories out in the community that you wouldn't see on our typical news channels or our typical broadcasts, rather. So we'd love to see you, love to hear from you. You can always reach out and send us email, say hi, message us. Something.
We love ideas.
We love our
so
people.
Send them. Yeah, love ideas, love guests. So send them our way and be sure to follow us on Facebook and follow us back here for tomorrow for a Thursday edition of ARC Southeast Texas. But until then, we hope you have a great Wednesday. Go out and enjoy Beaumont Restaurant Week.